Jack Nicklaus was born on January 21, 1940, in Columbus, Ohio. As a child, he was drawn to multiple sports, but golf soon became his primary focus. His father, Charlie Nicklaus, a pharmacist who loved the game, introduced him to golf at Scioto Country Club. By the age of 10, Jack was already displaying advanced ability on the course. He began working with instructor Jack Grout, a teaching professional who became his only swing coach for the rest of his life. Grout emphasized fundamentals, tempo, and a repeatable swing pattern that would later become one of the most recognizable motions in golf. By age 13, Nicklaus had broken 70 for the first time. That same year, he survived a bout of polio, an illness that affected many children during that period, and returned to the course without any lasting physical setback to his game. His early success continued through junior and amateur competitions across Ohio and the broader Midwest. At 16, Nicklaus won the Ohio Open, a notable achievement given that the field included professional golfers. His nickname, the Golden Bear, was not given to him until October 1961, roughly a month before he turned professional. The name originated with Don Lawrence, a sportswriter for the Melbourne Age newspaper in Australia, who was asked by sports agent Mark McCormack for his impression of the young golfer. Lawrence described Nicklaus as looking like a big, cuddly golden bear, and the phrase was later shortened to the Golden Bear of Golf. The name fit for multiple reasons. Nicklaus had blonde hair, and his high school mascot at Upper Arlington High School in Ohio had also been the Golden Bears, though the two origins developed independently before merging into the nickname that followed him for the rest of his career. He continued to build his amateur resume while attending Ohio State University, where he studied pharmacy, following in his father's professional footsteps before eventually shifting his path toward competitive golf. During his amateur years, Nicklaus won the U.S. Amateur Championship twice, in 1959 and 1961, and he was named world's top amateur golfer by Golf Digest for 3 consecutive years. These victories placed him among the most accomplished amateur golfers in the country and set the stage for his transition into professional competition. Nicklaus turned professional in 1961, at the age of 21. His decision came after a decorated amateur career that already included the 2 U.S. amateur titles. Professional golf in the early 1960s was dominated by Arnold Palmer, whose popularity had brought unprecedented commercial attention to the sport through the rise of televised tournaments. Palmer was the established star, admired by galleries and sponsors alike, and his fan base, often called Arnie's Army, followed him from hole to hole. In 1962, just 1 year after turning professional, Nicklaus entered the U.S. Open at Oakmont Country Club in Pennsylvania. Oakmont was Palmer's home region, and the crowd overwhelmingly supported him throughout the tournament. Nicklaus and Palmer finished the 72-hole tournament tied, forcing an 18-hole playoff the following day. Nicklaus won the playoff by 3 strokes, shooting 71 to Palmer's 74. This victory marked his first professional major championship win and served as an early signal that a new competitor had entered the sport at the highest level. Golf writers at the time noted the shift in power this result represented, since Palmer had been considered the dominant player of his generation up to that point. The following year, in 1963, Nicklaus won both the Masters Tournament and the PGA Championship, becoming, at the time, the youngest golfer to win the Masters. Then, in 1965, he won the Masters again, this time by a margin of 9 strokes, breaking Bobby Jones's previous Masters scoring record of 274 by 3 shots. Bobby Jones, who co-founded Augusta National Golf Club, described the performance by saying, "Nicklaus played a game with which I am not familiar." In 1966, Nicklaus won the Open Championship, completing the career Grand Slam of all 4 major championships at age 26, making him the youngest golfer to achieve that distinction at the time. Nicklaus's next U.S. Open victory came 5 years after his first, in 1967, at Baltusrol Golf Club in New Jersey. He won with a score of 275, which set a new U.S. Open scoring record at the time. This victory demonstrated that his first major championship had not been an isolated result, and it reinforced his position as one of the leading golfers of the decade. In 1973, Nicklaus won the PGA Championship at Canterbury Golf Club in Ohio, a victory that gave him his 14th major title and surpassed Bobby Jones's long-standing record of 13 major championships. He was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame the following year, in 1974. His third U.S. Open title came in 1972 at Pebble Beach Golf Links in California. By this point in his career, Nicklaus had already established himself as the most consistent performer in professional golf, regularly contending in major championships year after year. The 1972 U.S. Open win added to a growing list of achievements that spanned multiple tournaments and multiple golf courses across the country, showing his ability to adapt his game to different conditions, terrains, and course designs. Nicklaus earned his fourth and final U.S. Open title in 1980 at Baltusrol Golf Club, the same course where he had won in 1967. At the time of this victory, he was 40 years old, an age at which many professional golfers begin to decline competitively. His score of 272 broke his own U.S. Open scoring record set 13 years earlier at the same venue. That same year, Nicklaus also won the PGA Championship, marking his sixth season with at least 2 major victories. This win demonstrated that experience, course management, and mental composure could offset the physical advantages typically held by younger competitors. With this fourth U.S. Open title, Nicklaus joined a group of only 4 golfers in history to win the U.S. Open 4 times. The other 3 are Willie Anderson, Bobby Jones, and Ben Hogan. As of the current record books, no golfer has won the U.S. Open more than 4 times, making this group historically significant within the sport. While the 4 U.S. Open titles represent a major part of Nicklaus's legacy, his broader achievement across all major championships is even more significant in the history of professional golf. Nicklaus won a total of 18 major championships during his career, a number that remains the record for most major titles won by a male golfer. His major championship victories are distributed across all 4 events that make up modern professional golf's major championship structure: the Masters Tournament, the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and the Open Championship, also known as the British Open. His major titles break down as follows: 6 victories at the Masters Tournament, 5 victories at the PGA Championship, 4 victories at the U.S. Open, and 3 victories at the Open Championship. This distribution across all 4 majors reflects a level of consistency across different playing conditions, course designs, and formats that few golfers have matched. Many of golf's most accomplished players have specialized in performing particularly well at 1 or 2 major championships. Nicklaus's record shows sustained excellence across all 4, spanning a career that lasted from the early 1960s into the 1980s. Beyond his major championships, Nicklaus recorded 73 PGA Tour victories, ranking 3rd all-time behind only Sam Snead and Tiger Woods, along with additional wins on the European Tour, the PGA Tour of Australasia, and the PGA Tour Champions, bringing his worldwide professional win total to 117. He led the PGA Tour money list 8 times, in 1964, 1965, 1967, 1971, 1972, 1973, 1975, and 1976, and was named PGA Player of the Year 5 times, in 1967, 1972, 1973, 1975, and 1976. Nicklaus also recorded 19 runner-up finishes in major championships throughout his career, a statistic that further illustrates the depth of his consistency. Combined with his 18 wins, this means he finished in the top 2 at major championships 37 times across 164 major championship starts. Golf historian and author Rick Riley described Nicklaus's public appeal in contrast to other prominent golfers of the era, writing that, "He was not homespun like Sam Snead, funny like Lee Trevino. His pants didn't need hitching like Palmer's. Instead, he won over America with pure, unbleached excellence." For decades following his peak playing years, professional golfers have pursued the 18 major record. Several players have come close to matching or approaching this total, but as of now, none have surpassed it. Tiger Woods, one of the most successful golfers of the modern era, has won 15 major championships, placing him closest to Nicklaus's total among active or recently active players. Discussions comparing the two golfers, Nicklaus and Woods, have continued for years within golf media and among fans, particularly regarding who holds the stronger claim to being the sport's greatest player of all time. One of the most significant moments in Nicklaus's career, and one widely regarded as among the most memorable events in golf history, occurred at the 1986 Masters tournament at Augusta National Golf Club. At the time, Nicklaus was 46 years old, an age at which competing for a major championship title was considered highly unlikely for most professional golfers. In the 7 tournaments he had entered on the PGA Tour that year, he had missed the cut in 3, withdrawn from another, and recorded a best finish of a tie for 39th place in Hawaii. A week before the tournament, golf writer Tom McCollister of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution published a column suggesting that Nicklaus's competitive career was effectively finished. Nicklaus later recalled during his post-tournament press conference that the article had affected him, stating, "So the article probably didn't make me as hot as I wanted, but I kept thinking all week, I said, done, through, washed up." Despite this outlook, Nicklaus entered the final round of the tournament 4 strokes behind the leaders, positioned alongside golfers including Tom Watson, Tom Kite, Nick Price, Bernhard Langer, Seve Ballesteros, and Greg Norman. During the final round, Nicklaus played one of the most notable closing stretches in major championship history. He shot a final round score of 65, which included a back 9 score of 30, one of the lowest back 9 totals ever recorded in a Masters final round. On the 16th hole, Nicklaus hit a tee shot with a 5-iron that landed close to the pin, contributing to a birdie that pushed him further up the leaderboard. Describing the shot afterward, he explained, "Then I stood on 16, and usually at 16, I play a 6-iron. It was 179 yards and there was a touch of wind in our face, and I said, 'Jackie, I think that's a good solid 5-iron.'" Nicklaus finished the tournament with a winning score that secured his 6th Masters title, making him, at that time, the oldest golfer to win the tournament. Reflecting on his mindset going into that final round, he later said, "Going into the tournament I had no expectations about winning, at all. I love playing golf. I wanted to stay part of the tour. I really loved playing golf." After securing the victory, Nicklaus commented on the possibility of repeating such a performance, stating, "I don't know if I'll ever do it again or not, but frankly, I don't care." The victory drew reactions from many of his fellow competitors and contemporaries. Tom Watson, an 8-time major champion who finished 4 strokes behind Nicklaus that day, later said, "Nicklaus turned back the clock. He gave us one of the most iconic moments in sports, not just golf, all of sports. It's one of those moments where everyone remembers where they were when it happened." Golfer Tom Weiskopf, who competed against Nicklaus for much of his career, described the psychological effect Nicklaus had on opponents, stating, "Jack knew he was going to beat you. You knew Jack was going to beat you. And Jack knew that you knew that he was going to beat you." Following his playing career, Nicklaus received a number of honors recognizing his contributions to golf. He was awarded the Bob Jones Award in 1975, the sport's highest honor for sportsmanship. In 2005, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and in 2015, he was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, one of the highest civilian honors given in the United States. He also received the PGA Tour Lifetime Achievement Award in 2008. Beyond his individual tournament victories, Nicklaus's influence extended into golf course design and the broader development of the sport. Following his playing career, he became involved in golf course architecture, designing courses across multiple countries. His playing statistics, including his major championship totals, runner-up finishes, and tournament victories across more than 2 decades of competition, remain benchmarks used to evaluate golfers in the modern era. His record of 18 major championships, achieved across a career spanning from his first professional major win in 1962 to his final major victory in 1986, spans nearly a quarter of a century of sustained competitive excellence. His 4 U.S. Open titles, won in 1962, 1967, 1972, and 1980, place him alongside Willie Anderson, Bobby Jones, and Ben Hogan as the only golfers to have won that championship 4 times. Combined with his record 18 major championships overall, his 73 PGA Tour victories, and his 117 professional wins worldwide, Nicklaus's career statistics remain among the most closely studied and referenced records in the history of professional golf, continuing to serve as the standard against which subsequent generations of golfers are measured.